Temperatures are rising as Kenya heads to the polls on August 8th.
9 out of 10 Kenyans say that they have seen false news around the general elections.
This is what the fake news trap looks like.
This Tuesday, Kenyans head to the polls in what is expected to be a tightly contested election, pitting the incumbent president, Uhuru Kenyatta, against his old rival, Raila Odinga. Kenyatta and Odinga faced each other back in 2013 when Kenyatta won, partly due to a pioneering social media strategy. Those campaigns were mostly above board, with a few attack ads here and there, but this time around it's different, because the fake news phenomenon has hit Kenya. The country's recent political history makes the upsurge in fake news troubling. In late 2007, Odinga lost a close election, the results of which he disputed. Protests turned to unrest and ethnic violence that left more than 1,000 dead. The concern now is, if fake news builds expectations that go unmet, Kenyans could see history repeat itself. Then there's the outside element, PR companies and number crunchers. African politicians often hire Western firms, but it's Kenyatta's reported relationship with a company called Cambridge Analytica that got our attention. The company operates in the murky political margins, offering data analysis and PR advice, strategic communications. And the people behind it have, to varying degrees, been credited with helping land Donald Trump in the White House and with helping the Leave side win Britain's Brexit referendum, which has Kenyans looking closely, wondering what Cambridge Analytica is up to this time. Our starting point this week is Nairobi. July 10th, roughly 1 month prior to Election Day, and Kenyans start seeing a new video on their social media feeds. It's called Raila 2020 and purports to provide a vision of what the country would look like 3 years into a Raila Odinga presidency.
It was a very scary video. It set out to portray a post-apocalypse Kenya, where after Raila becomes president, everything falls apart.
It says that it will be a Kenya full of violence, the opposition would be stifled, every public infrastructure would be dilapidated.
They said that, for example, that there will not be enough water for Kenyans, that women will be giving birth in the streets. It was professionally done, and it was a classic case of propaganda.
We don't know who did it, but we know whose campaign it serves. Obviously, it serves Kenyatta's campaign.
Although that video was propagandistic and provocative, it does not meet the definition of fake news. But there's been plenty of that in Kenya. Bogus news reports branded as the work of BBC and CNN have made the rounds on social media. Both included fake polling data suggesting the incumbent, President Kenyatta, was poised to win.
Reveals an increase in the popularity of the incumbent by about 1.5%.
Prophecies of a Kenyatta re-election have also appeared online on a fake news site called foreignpolicynews.com, which, if the byline is to be believed, has only one writer on staff, a Thomas Greenfield. Mr. Greenfield takes constant liberty with the facts, routinely attacking Raila Odinga, and seems to have stolen his name from a former U.S. State Department official based in Africa, Linda Thomas Greenfield. Whatever form these fake news stories take, many Kenyans are ready to believe them. And even if they don't, many are able and willing to circulate them.
Social media basically has taken the fore, and most of the time the fake news, if it is on Twitter, then it will be in terms of lead paragraphs on Facebook, more or less just giving context to what people want to read. And it has been very niche audience specific.
Kenyans are very active on WhatsApp, they're very active on Telegram. This has fueled a lot of fake news, and some of these conversations that start online, they influence our conversations offline.
It goes to churches, it goes to the marketplace, it goes to the bus stops, wherever people gather to congregate. And wherever Kenyans congregate, they discuss politics. It is very, very effective.
From all that we have seen. Both sides are doing it, but one side is more sophisticated than the other, or one side is more organized. It's more strategic about how it puts the information out there. So there are no prizes for guessing which side that is.
Again, that would be the side backing the incumbent, President Uhuru Kenyatta. Looming over this story is the dark cloud of 2007-2008. Polls had Odinga leading, much like the fake news reports predicting a Kenyatta victory this time. And when the result went the other way, 2 months of violence followed, claiming more than 1,000 lives. Various government inquiries were called into the way that election was conducted and how it was covered. Within a year, the country's media law was changed. The government gave itself the power to raid media offices and control broadcast content in order, it argued, to keep the peace. Many Kenyan journalists called it a gag law in disguise. Now, less than a decade later, that law appears obsolete, since the bulk of the media malpractice in Kenya is not on the air or in print, it's online.
Social media is not governed by advertising laws in Kenya. And therefore, everybody has the freedom in anonymity to put up whatever they wish to put up on social spaces. And the forces that are churning out this information, they are 3 steps ahead of these people who are trying to man the internet. So it becomes not a very easy thing to curb information from spreading because of the speed at which messages are sent online.
The election laws provide that, first of all, election advertising must be clearly marked. And the Electoral Commission can take action. It can actually suspend parties from campaigning. Now, when you take it to those online platforms, or even that video we saw, where you have freelancers posting things on Facebook and Twitter, or exchanging messages on WhatsApp, so the Electoral Commission is in a fix. It is almost impossible for the Electoral Commission to tell who is posting those things.
Tracing the sources of online content is a challenge, and one of the reasons it is difficult to prove allegations that a US-based company called Cambridge Analytica, which also has offices in London, is working for President Kenyatta. As its website boasts, the company says it can change audience behavior through the mass harvesting and analysis of voter data. CA has been credited with playing a central role in the Donald Trump election campaign, whose surrogates were often accused of producing fake news. CA did work for the Kenyatta campaign in 2013, but refuses to confirm or deny detailed reports in The Star, a Nairobi paper, that it's involved in this campaign as well. However, when Kenyans see the proliferation of fake news, the branding of Raila Odinga as Crooked Raila on a website that appears to be behind that Raila attack video, they hear distinct echoes of what American voters were getting last year. And it's understandable why President Kenyatta, in a country still trying to move past its long colonial history, would not want voters making the link between his campaign and a foreign company like Cambridge Analytica.
Kenyatta, in 2013, he was going out with an anti-imperialist message. Now, some people would say that it's his way of dealing with the imperialists, fighting with them using their own tools.
A lot of people are drawing parallels between this election and that of the 2016, the US presidential election, where they say that he who has the big data owns the future. And there's general belief that, although they might deny this or fail to comment, that the Cambridge Analytica has a hand in all this.
Cambridge Analytica told the Listening Post it has no connection to the Raila 2020 video, but refuses to say what services, if any, it's providing the Kenyatta campaign. That's the kind of non-clarification that, in a story rife with forged logos, fabricated bylines, and all kinds of fake news, fits right in. Kenya votes on Tuesday, in an election in which neither candidate, neither side, comes out clean. That much we know.